Hello friends, welcome to Manu Law Classes. I am Gautam Dikshit. In this video, we are going to discuss the Daily Hindu analysis of October 8th, 2021. So let's move to the important news. So as we know that in Jammu and Kashmir now there is a security concern. The targeted killings is now on increase. We saw yesterday's newspaper where it was written that for this year in 2021, the death of civilians is higher than the death of security personnel, and we read that Makhan Lal Bindru, who owned a pharmacy by Bindru Medicaid in the Srinagar, he was shot dead. Now the principal and the teacher of a government school in Srinagar have been shot dead, and the resistance force, a militant outfit which is funded by Pakistan, which is backed by Pakistan, has claimed responsibility for this school attack. Now to the next news, very important news. So Nobel Prize for Literature has been awarded to Abdul Razzaq Gurnah of Tanzania, okay, for his uncompromising and compassionate penetration of the effects of colonialism and the fate of the refugees. So colonialism means, if you will see the world history starting from around 18th to the 20th century, it was dominated by imperialism, which outcome was colonialism. Colonialism means the territory which is under the control of foreign power. Now he is the first African writer to win the award since 2007. In 2007, Darius Lessing won the award. He was from Zimbabwe, and then he is the second writer of color, means talking about the color. So he is the second writer of color from sub-Saharan Africa, okay, after Wole Soyinka of Nigeria won the award in 1986. So he is the first African writer to win the award since the Zimbabwean Darius Lessing won the award in 2007, and he is the second writer of color from sub-Saharan Africa after Nigeria's Wole Soyinka, who won the award in 1986. Now continuing with the news, now over here in this news, there is a growing concern in the world about the rising intolerance and vandalism in India as also in the world. So if you will see that the United Nations Security Council 2593 has been mentioned. Now this is the United Nations Security Council resolution which was moved in the wake of Taliban takeover of Afghanistan, and this resolution aims for that Afghanistan territory should not be used by any terror groups for launching terror attacks, and the respect of humanitarian rights, and to foster freedom and diversity, okay, and forming the inclusive government by Taliban. Now coming to the next important news. Now this is the news from the study conducted by IIT Madras, now about the river Kaveri. So Kaveri, now see the type of contamination which we normally find in rivers, so you can get an idea from here. So see, contaminants which includes pharmaceutically active compounds, personal care products, plastics, flame retardants, heavy metals, pesticides, okay, which are polluting our river, including Kaveri. Now what is happening over here is that why it is dangerous, why pollutants in river or water bodies are very dangerous, how they contaminate the human health and ecosystem. For this there are two terms, one is called as bioaccumulation and one is called as biomagnification. Now you must have heard about food chain or food web. Now see, if there are pollutants in water bodies, and the organisms which are which survive in water bodies, they are exposed to that pollutants, and then through food, okay, through food chain, this pollutants enters an entire ecosystem. So this leads to biomagnification, okay. So this is the problem of rivers, which can lead to biomagnification and bioaccumulation of harmful pollutants, especially the active pharmaceutical ingredients. Now one-liner news that Neeraj Chopra's javelin was auctioned for rupees 1.5 crore. Now the next news which is coming and very important. So India's armed forces are scheduled to carry out an exercise with UK's Queen Elizabeth Carrier Strike Group later this month. Okay, and the next is the India UK Joint Working Group on Cyber Capacity Building was held on Thursday, means yesterday. The next is that the army, in Indian Army and UK Army, they are conducting the exercise called as Ajay Warrior. So this is very important. It comes in exam that exercise Ajay Warrior is a bilateral joint military exercise between which two countries? So it is between India and UK. In 2021, it is being held at Chaubatia in Uttarakhand, and it will end on October 20. Then about the naval exercise. So this naval exercise was to be held in October 3rd week. Okay, and the modalities are being worked out. Now in India and UK have already held a passage exercise, okay, where the Royal Navy Carrier Strike Group, which was led by HMS Queen Elizabeth, participated in the Bay of Bengal. Now over here the Health Ministry has cautioned that second wave of COVID-19 is still not over, and 3 months, October, November and December, because there are festive seasons and winter are going to set in this season only, so we have to take extra care during these 3 months. Okay, and we will see, if we see the data further. So Health Ministry has said that Kerala is still continuing to report 50% of the total COVID-19 cases in the country currently. Then UK had proposed a 10-day quarantine for Indians. Earlier it was in hotel, then it was in home quarantine, and Covishield was recognized later as a vaccine, but whosoever has taken Covishield in India, they were not required to enter UK without the 10-day quarantine period. So in retaliation, India also imposed a mandatory 10-day quarantine from anyone who is traveling from UK to India. So now UK has dropped that 10-day quarantine for Indians, and only thing is that the visitors, they must have the approved jabs, means that is Covishield. Then India is partially restoring its tourist visa, which was suspended due to COVID-19 in March 2020. So this partial restoration will be for tourist visa facilities from October 15. Okay, and for the tourists who will be coming on air bubble flights from selected countries. Now the Supreme Court has allowed girls to take RIMC, Rashtriya Indian Military College, which is in Dehradun. The government had told that they can take the exam from June, July, but now Supreme Court has said that no, they can take the exam in December 2021. Now India and Nepal to conduct joint patrols for controlling the trans-border crime. So trans-border crime, so India and Nepal. So it is very important to understand that Sashastra Seema Bal is a paramilitary force which comes under the Union Home Ministry. We have other paramilitary forces also, like Central Industrial Security Forces, Central Reserve Police Force, then we have Border Security Force, then we have Assam Rifles. These all are paramilitary forces. So this Sashastra Seema Bal is the organization which is responsible for patrolling the Nepal and Bhutan borders of India. The incumbent Director General of Sashastra Seema Bal is Kumar Rajesh Chandra. So from Nepal side, armed police force, they guard the border. Okay, so the meeting was held between the two, and they have decided to do the joint patrolling for controlling the trans-border crime. So if you will see, Central Industrial Security Force, Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force, then we have Sashastra Seema Bal, then we have Border Security Force, Assam Rifles. These are some of the paramilitary forces which guards the border during peace time. Now Biden and Xi will hold the virtual meet in November 2021. Now what is happening over here, why this meet was necessary? So this meet was necessary to ward off the regional tension between China and Taiwan. So both so Taiwan which is also called as Republic of China, okay, considers itself as independent from mainland China, which is ruled by the Communist Party. Okay, from last few days, since October 1st, we were noticing that China was sending fighter jets into the Taiwan's air defense identification zone of Taiwan regularly, which created a lot of tension. So now US and China, they have decided to hold a talk after G20 summit in Rome to discuss the issue. Then one-liner news that Moscow will invite Taliban to Afghanistan talks on October 20. So Putin will discuss Afghanistan situation with the Tajikistan president over here. Taliban will also be present. Now we should note that the Central Asian countries, especially Tajikistan, Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan, making border with Afghanistan. So this talk is necessary so that the Central Asian countries do not become hostage to the terrorist attacks which may emanate from Afghanistan in future. Now again, Lieutenant General Anjum, okay, General Anjum has been appointed as the new chief of Pakistan's ISI. So ISI just is an intelligence agency of Pakistan, just like we have RAW, Research and Analysis Wing in India. So Research and Analysis Wing of India is the intelligence agency of India. ISI is an intelligence agency of Pakistan. Then over here you can say CIA, which is going to launch its new unit which will focus on China. This Central Intelligence Agency, it is the intelligence agency of US. So Lieutenant General Nadeem Anjum will be appointed as the new Director General of the spy agency, which is International Services Intelligence or ISI. Now see, many countries are coming up in support of Taiwan. Very few countries are there which recognize Taiwan as a country. Okay, now France is coming out and recognizing Taiwan as a country which is different from China. Now the most important economic news is for today that World Bank retains India's financial year 2021-22. Whenever see it is written like FY22, it means we are talking about the financial year started on 1st April 2021 and it is going to end on 31st March 2022. It will be called as financial year 2021-22. So for this financial year, the growth forecast by World Bank is at 8.3, especially due to rise in public investment through PIL scheme and ECLGS scheme. Now World Bank released a report. Okay, in that report it said that this growth is due to public investment and schemes like production linked incentive scheme to boost manufacturing. So this there is a report which is called as Shifting Gears, Digitization and Service Led Development. Okay, in this report there are certain observations made by World Bank. So one of the observation is downside risk. So upside, why there will be a growth? Because of bolstering matlab revival of domestic demand. Second will be schemes like production linked incentive schemes. Now what is downside risk? Downside risk over here means that what are the factors which are present in an economy which can bring the growth process down. Okay, so some of them is that there is uncertainty around asset quality deterioration. Asset quality deterioration का मतलब होता है यहाँ पे कि we just don't know that the loans which have been financed by the bank to the private sector, will it be given to the bank? If it is not given to the bank, so the asset quality of bank may deteriorate. The second is the slow recovery in the informal sector. Now see, informal sectors means gig sector you can say, which lacks social security. So recovery in informal sector is very slow, and right now we are facing higher than expected inflation. Then World Bank has commended the accommodative fiscal and monetary policy globally. Accommodative means that the policy which is followed by the Central Bank of India, central banks of the world, to infuse the liquidity or money in the market so that banks have enough money to lend to the consumers and private sector, which leads to employment generation and demand in the market. Now government has released the GST dues of rupees 40,000 crore to states. Okay, so the GST collection which is made by the central government, so what GST is goods and services tax. So this was introduced into the constitution by 101st Amendment Act. So now this GST Act mandates that there should be compensation paid to states whatever revenue central government is getting. So the central government has now made rupees 40,000 crore to states. Then auto retail sales declined 5% as two-wheelers and tractors drag. So it is definitely because of the second COVID-19 wave. Okay, but now since we are heading towards the festive season, so it may revive. But the main problem of the auto sector is chip paucity. Chips or semiconductors which are not available, this is hampering the production of automobiles in India. Then Reliance Retail, this is very important news, especially one liner. Reliance Retail Venture Limited, okay, it has a subsidiary which is called as 7 India Convenience Retail Limited. Okay, now this 7 India Convenience Retail Limited, which is a subsidiary of Reliance Retail Ventures Limited, it has entered into a master franchisee agreement, means it can have a franchisee of 7-Eleven, which is the major retail store in the United States. So Reliance becomes the first country to introduce the franchisee of 7-Eleven stores in India. Now about the World Wrestling Championship. So Anshu Malik, she bagged the silver medal because in 57 kg final. Okay, and she lost to Helen Louise Marlois. Okay, so this is the one important news from the sports. Now let's move to the editorial. Now here the article is about the malaria vaccine which got the nod of WHO or World Health Organization. Okay, so this is RTSS vaccine, and it is definitely going to benefit the children. So if we will just see that why we need this vaccine, because it will reduce the severity of cases and it will prevent deaths. Okay, now if we will just see the statistics, so according to WHO, nearly half the world's population was at risk of malaria. This is the important point, first important point. Then if you will see where the most of the cases are happening, so most of the cases and death are happening in sub-Saharan Africa. So if we have 220 million cases in 2019, malaria death was 4,09,000, and in that 94% of the cases and deaths were occurring in African region. Then children under the age of 5 are most vulnerable group which are impacted by malaria. So this development of vaccine whose clinical trial was held in Ghana, Kenya and Malawi. Okay, now this is going to improve the situation and it will save life. But at the same time, WHO Director General has asked people that not to give up the conventional strategies to prevent malaria. For example, people should not stop using insecticide treated bed nets. Now about the handling complexity, this is about the physics Nobel Prize winners and their research project. So if we will just see this award, so this award is divided into two parts. Okay, the first part is about developing climate model. The second part is about developing the physical model. The developing of climate model for this was done by two scientists. One is Syukuro Manabe of Princeton University and Klaus Hazelman of Max Planck Institute of Meteorology in Hamburg, Germany. So they are in the first category, means they developed environment climate model system. The second one, if we will see, the second one is awarded to Giorgio Parisi from Spezia University of Rome for developing the spin glass system to help to understand the physical models. Okay, so these are some of the research which is going to help us to understand our climate change scenarios better and understanding the physical models in a much better way. Now this article is about the use of data in Indian agriculture. So there are two reports. One is of Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare report, which is called as India Digital Ecosystem of Agriculture, and the second report is about Indian agriculture ripe for disruption from a private organization by Bain and Company. These both reports, they talk about digital revolution in agriculture just to increase the productivity in agriculture to make it more profitable for farmers. Okay, and how it will be done, they are discussing that. Okay, but there are certain issues also related with this which has been highlighted by the author, like privacy issue, because the data is open to the private players, so the privacy issue is dealt with. The second is that both the reports, they talk about that what they are aiming to do, but how they will do it, they are lacking on that. The fifth part of this article is about that. This article says that technology digitization is okay, but we should increase the capacity of our farmers through various approaches, like establishing support system, then making farmers producers organizations and farmers associations. Okay, so these are some of the ways in making our farmers strong. So some of the highlights of these articles are, let's see the first report by Bain. It says that there are some new opportunities, okay, that where the target should be, it is like alternative protein and food cell based food ingredients and initiating a ocean farming. Okay, this report is based on today forward future back approach. Today forward future back approach is related with related with like that today we should project what may happen in future, and then we should make the planning accordingly, and in future whatever new opportunities come, we must take the benefit of those opportunities. This approach is known as today forward future back approach. Okay, the next is about the report says that there are two conditions which are very important for agriculture and which are going to lead the demand. So one is about the investment, increasing investment in agriculture. The second is about the recent changes which has been brought out by the 3 Farm Acts and digital disruption. Now coming to the IDEA report. So the IDEA report says that the farmer and the improvement of farmers' livelihood, which is the aim of IDEA, it can happen if there is the integration of agri-tech innovation and the agriculture industry ecosystem. When we talk about agriculture industry ecosystem, it means we are talking from farm to fork. Okay, everybody should be benefited. Okay, the second is that it is talking that there should be openness of data, means the data which will be collected in IDEA, it will be open to businesses and farmers. Okay, and there will be integration of business and farmers so that both can benefit from it. Then the next will be value added innovative services in agricultural industries and startups, which will be the part of IDEA. Okay, now the other important highlights which has been made by this report is that the future of Indian agriculture, okay, which will be from farm to fork, okay, must pave the way for single national market, which can only happen through making the data very integral, where everybody can access the data, feed the data, and there can be movement of capital, movement of goods, movement of merchandise, making the whole India as the national market for agriculture, which is also that 3 bills want. The second is that there are some opposition to it. For example, the first opposition is that what about the farmer's privacy? Okay, the second is about the this data, these two reports, they don't take into account the emission, energy and other resource footprints and sustainability issues around the techniques which will be used in agriculture. Okay, now, okay, the next is that the report has demonstrated that the business opportunity which is available right now between the supply chain which is between farm to APMCs, okay, it can be realized with the support of digital disruption and agricultural reform. So they are pushing for agricultural reforms and technology infusion in agriculture. Okay, the only thing is that how they will achieve it, that has not been discussed in the paper. So the next topic is focus on the farmer. Here they are discussing that we must infuse technology, we must use technology for agricultural sector. Okay, but we should not forget that there is some socio-political complexities involved with the farming sector in India, and just counting on technology or just relying on technology to improve the livelihood of farmers may not be a very good idea. So they suggest an alternative, not an alternative, but in addition to technology, there is a need for educating the young farmers, or at least wait for the period till the educated young farmers replace the old farmers, according to this. Okay, which this article is presuming that the current farmers, they are undereducated. Okay, especially the small and medium farmers, according to this report. Okay, this capacity building can be done through a mixed approach, preferably building the capacities of the individual farmers or coping with the new situation by establishing the support system. Now, how to establish a support system? By making organizations like farmer produce organizations and farmers associations. Okay, now coming to a bad bank. So government has established NARCL, okay, under the Companies Act, National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited. This NARCL is going to take rupees 2 lakh crore of bad bank from the bank, and then a new company which is called as IDRCL, India Debt Resolution Company Limited, will be established, which will try to monetize this bad assets. Okay, now this article discusses about the pros and cons, not too much necessary from our exam point of view. The only thing is that why we require this NARCL. So we require this NARCL because after taking the bad loans from the banks, there will be the balance sheet of the banks will become clean, and after that they can focus on their core function of giving loans and making profit from there, which is the banking's core function. Now, earlier what used to happen, that the resolution of this NPAs was the responsibility of banks. Now banks, they don't have the required expertise in in the resolution of bad assets. Then this resolution of bad assets used to take lot of time, lot of energy and manpower from the bank, and banks were not able to focus on their core functions. So now this bad bank will enable them. What are the benefits over here? That banks will get their asset resolved quickly and they will realize the money. Okay, this is the first thing. Okay, second thing is that 15% of the payment will be immediately paid by NARCL. The rest 85% will be paid by NARCL after the resolution of stressed asset. And if there is any gap between the value at which NARCL purchased and the value at which the asset was the monetization of asset took place, that gap will be filled by the government under the budgetary support of rupees 30,600 crore. Now the next question comes that if it happens, do we require the capitalization of bank? So yes, we require the capitalization of bank today also, because if we just see our economy is still on the path of recovery. We were hoping the V-shaped recovery, but because of second wave, it almost went U-shaped recovery. So for faster recovery, there should be liquidity in the market. Now this liquidity in the market can only be through banks, because private sectors, they will go for loans and they will borrow it from banks, because the development financial institutions has not yet developed. And the second is the bond market is not quite deep in India, so the banks, scheduled commercial banks, become one of the favorite destination of private sectors to get the loans. So definitely they will go to private to this scheduled commercial bank. So there is a need of recapitalization just to revive the economy, especially when it is in a recovery phase. Now coming to this stronger at the grassroots. So see, there is one very important information that Rajasthan was the first state to adopt Panchayati Raj, and in Rajasthan there is a place called Nagaur on October 2, 1959. Okay, now why this is very important, Panchayati Raj? So see, it is a system of local self-governance where people in the villages participate in the decision making process, which is the backbone of democracy. The second is, now this is article is discussing that why we require it. Okay, so see, the Panchayati Raj institution has played a very critical and very important role, especially during COVID-19 crisis, in delivery of services, delivery of food, and then preventing the disease, and checkups, quarantining the people, and effective management of the welfare schemes during the COVID-19. Okay, now if we want such thing to happen in strategy, in disaster management, okay, so if we will just see that the Yokohama strategy, which was adopted during the International Decade for Natural Disaster Reduction in May 1994, it emphasized on three things. Disaster prevention. Disaster prevention means undertaking such activities which does not lead to disaster. The second is mitigation, means lessening the impact of disaster. The second is that even if disaster strikes, we should be prepared before the disaster strikes. Okay, now it does not focus only on disaster response. Disaster response का मतलब होता है कि disaster होने के बाद हम वो steps ले रहे हैं, ठीक है ना. But Yokohama strategy says कि no, before disaster strikes, we should first work on preventing the disasters. Second, we should work on mitigating the impact of disaster. Third, that we should be already prepared before the disaster strikes. Over here, the Panchayati Raj can play a very important role. For example, making the disaster planning at the local level, which will be citizen centric. The second is about conducting regular location specific training program for the community and organizing the platform for sharing the best practices. The third will be the since the community are the first to respond to any disaster, okay, then if that community should be able to make the disaster plan for themselves based on their traditional wisdom, okay, which often helps in such situation. Then we have already discussed this report by Council on Energy, Environment and Water, CEEW. Over here, Uttar Pradesh up to 2015, Uttar Pradesh was the largest emitter of PM 2.5, particulate matter PM 2.5, followed by Maharashtra. Basically, why UP is topping, we discussed it last day also. First is about that Uttar Pradesh has very large population. Then domestic fuel which is used in household is the leading contributor of emissions. Okay, then the second largest contributor to the PM 2.5 is industrial production. Now if we will just see this data, the third number, okay, so emission due to domestic fuel use, okay, or residential sector accounts for 44% of the total emission. Okay, and if we just go to Punjab and Haryana, significant share is coming from agriculture waste burning. That's all for today. We will meet tomorrow again with the Daily Hindu News Analysis. Till then, take care. Thank you.